Good afternoon, good day, whatever the heck it is for you guys, and welcome to Unprofessional Therapy, where two old guys talk about their problems. Hopefully, we entertain you, and our motto is not a degree, just decades.
That's right.
I'm
Absolutely.
Brad,
I am Michael.
and we are here to
We're
talk
here to
about our
share,
issues.
in this case, to share some more personal stuff. But I think
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think it's something that maybe other people can learn from. If you've seen our other episodes, you
yeah.
maybe have heard me mention the fact that I have dyslexia, and I think that's probably worth exploring just a little bit more.
Yeah, my question, I want to talk about that because I've always wondered. Okay, you didn't know for a while, and I've wondered, how do you deal with that as an adult?
So I didn't know where to start. I love that question. It brings me to, if I could set the stage for you, being 30 something years old, working in an office of a motorcycle shop, and wanting to be in tears and feeling like I was drowning and suffocating with nobody to reach out to help because I couldn't spell a person's name. So
Mm,
that's the stage. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm feeling. I was helping out in an office um, where I worked,
mhm.
and I was supposed to type up the registration for a couple that was um, buying some vehicles, and I misspelled her name numerous times, and everybody in the office just stood there dumbfounded, looking at me, thinking how stupid I was, and nobody could help or really knew what was going on. That's how it felt.
That
Um,
would be a nightmare.
it was and is to this day. I don't dare think about it too much. I'm not even going to mention the name because it still, I can go back there. I could feel all those things.
Bob.
Here's the thing. It wasn't quite that bad, but yes, it was a relatively simple name. That
Mm,
maybe wasn't exactly what was happening, but there was bafflement from other people because they didn't understand that for whatever reason, I just could not put it in there right. And to make things worse with the dyslexia, the more upset I get, the worse it happens to me.
I hear
So
that.
here's the thing. When I was a kid, I thought dyslexia was people seeing letters backwards. And I thought,
Mhm.
wow, that's silly and ridiculous. And wow, they're weird. You know, there's something wrong with them. They're stupid. Not at all realizing that this was something that I have suffered with um, forever. I mean, ever since school.
Mhm.
And school, um, I'm going all over the place instead of answering your thing for an adult.
Yeah,
But
no, it's okay. You're getting there. I'm
here is
waiting.
the thing: people generally only think of dyslexia in terms of being in school, and there's a reason for that. They
Mhm.
think about it with kids; they don't necessarily think about it being an adult. Um,
Mhm.
we, as a species, as a thing, reading doesn't come naturally. It's something
Right.
that we've made, and it's something that some people's brains don't process quite the same way. And as we've entered into a society where we rely on things like reading and writing more and more, though these days you could argue it's less with computers, but anyhow, um, it wasn't natural. So our brains, people that are dyslexic and stuff, can't process that information quite the same way. And it turns out there's way more than just one type of dyslexia. There's at least
Really?
six, if not more. Yeah. I did
Wow.
a deep dive on this yesterday, and oh my gosh, it was just like ripping a scab off. It was just, oh my god.
Did you
I
cry a lot?
you know what? That's how I was initially going to start this interview. If you hadn't
Yeah.
started with that question, I was going to start by saying I'm not somebody that cries a lot, but this is a subject that at the drop of a hat can make me start crying.
Wow.
Initially, because of the frustration, it's so frustrating to think of yourself as being so stupid. And unfortunately, that's what people look at when they see my poor spelling
Yeah.
um, and stuff. They make assumptions, and so
Yeah.
for
I'm
me,
guilty of that with you.
yeah.
You don't know that.
Well, it's okay, and here, and you're going to hear all kinds of things that you don't know, and
Good.
I don't
Go
want to take
ahead.
all of our time like this, but um, the other time that I cried was simply from relief. I
Mhm.
finally read this book. If I can
Oh,
hold it here where you can
yep.
see the gift of
Oh, yeah.
it was a gift I wanted to return and get my money back.
Right.
But when I read this, and I've got some links below to see. Let me stop and finish one thought. Um,
Another part
it
problem.
was relief when
Mhm.
when I understood what had happened. And this, like I said, when I was 30 something, this situation happened. It was so soul crushing that I really took a deep dive into what was going on, and was then able to look back through my entire life, and it suddenly made sense. And when I read this book, it was like, oh my gosh, somebody else. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get upset.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh,
somebody
good. Drama,
else
drama.
has somebody else has gone through this before.
Mhm.
Somebody else understands. I'm not alone. It was just it was freeing to get
I
that,
know
and
that
I'm not the
feeling.
only one. There's an
Yeah.
interview where I talked where the person in the interview talked about the fact that, like, almost to a person, when an adult finally can share this with somebody or understands what's happening, they break down and cry
Yeah.
just from the relief.
Like it's a
Um,
revelation.
it is. It is.
Mhm.
So what you maybe did or didn't know was they wanted to put me in special ed when I was a kid.
I do remember you saying that.
Okay. And this, it turns out, is why. Thank goodness my aunt didn't put me in there. And it was because of the stigma that would be
Mhm.
attached to that.
Yeah.
Um, to be perfectly honest, if I had gone into special ed classes, um, I'm going to say that would have been fine by me because I'm incredibly lazy, and it would have been an out, and I wouldn't have had to work that hard.
Yeah.
So I would have like coasted. It's interesting and it's horrific actually
Mhm.
to find out that it's less than 5% of people ever get out of the special ed programs once they're in there.
Really?
That was amazing to me to find. And again, I did a lot of research yesterday. Um, if anybody wants to know more about it, there will be definitely links, at least 4 links about this stuff. But anyhow, ask any more of the questions that you might have if you have any
Well,
about.
some of the stuff, I mean, talking about you were talking about your spelling and all that, and people were looking down on you. You're not the only person that spells bad. My mom was an English teacher. I had things grilled into my head, and it's not like, and here's the funniest thing is in some of my emails, I look at my emails that I send even at work. I'm like, you don't know how to speak well. Me, I'm talking to myself, because I do a stream of consciousness into an
Mm.
email at work, and you really don't need to do that. But when I would see other people's emails, this is the past. I'm not this way anymore. I would judge them by their spelling. It's like, no, it's with you, I see a lot of things that you spell wrong. But I mean, it's like, don't judge because
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on.
you really
And
don't.
I
And it,
didn't. And then when you tell me, later after, you didn't tell me right away. When you told me you were dyslexic, I'm like, well, that makes total sense.
it does.
Now
And that's,
now I don't care. I'm like, yep.
yeah.
And we even had the discussion a long time ago about how you're like, tell me I spelled something wrong. I don't care.
So
You're not a big deal about
goes
that.
right back to that
Mhm.
instance in the motorcycle shop,
Yeah.
because first of all, it was a shock happening then, but after that, um, I have to face it head on, and I have to tell people, "Yeah, just make sure that I spell this right." I haven't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for a lot of people, like, dyslexia is a punchline, and people, "Oh, I'm having a dyslexic moment. Oh, that's
It's not so
okay."
funny for you.
But yeah, it's like, oh, it pricks a little nerve there occasionally. I let it
And
go
I'm
because I'm not
guilty
one
of
of those
saying
people
that.
that overly upset about those things.
Yeah. Don't
But
get triggered.
yeah, definitely not. But it's like, oh man, if you only really knew how lonely and isolating that is. And it can't be helped because it's something that takes place in the brain where on the left side of the brain is where people make cognitive associations to the letters and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Those areas don't fire up. There's a place here behind the ear. There's a place here in the
Mm-hmm.
frontal, not the frontal lobe, but here in the front of the brain. Those areas don't fire the same way, and it actually works on the right side of the brain. And it is possible to change those things, but it takes a lot of work.
Can I experiment with something?
Sure.
Electroshock therapy?
There may have already been too much of that going on, but here's the
We can
best.
try it on you. I'll try it. Let me push the buttons.
I used to take shocks from tasers for like $5 and stuff when I was sitting around bored. Maybe that was after the dyslexia, so not before. But
okay. Well, I was about to say
here is
correlation.
the best example that I've seen to show somebody else. And I'll include the link to it so people can watch it if they want. But here it is. So the teacher, the person in charge here, gave the news reporter a key, and it had 5 different things on there. The only one that pops out to my head right now is the letter Q. If you pronounce the letter Q as a M, so Q equals M, there was a, Y equals this and T equals that and so on. They gave that. And then she pulled out a piece of paper and gave this to the news reporter to read. And with those substitutions, a letter that we clearly don't. Oh my gosh. The girl went through, I want to say 2 lines, and she's like, "Nah, I'm done." And it's like, okay.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a good one.
It was the best example that I've seen to give to somebody to have them help understand. Like, can you imagine? She told her, like, that was 2 lines for you. Could you imagine struggling through an entire paragraph or your entire day of reading all the time?
There's no break. Even a stop sign, even a road sign telling you what road to turn on.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it. Well, I can because I can't read road signs here.
Oh, hey, there you go.
We'll talk about that the next video.
That is a very good point we should talk about.
So I can kind of understand because I can't read a damn thing.
So yeah, and it can be isolating, and it can be, and so those are all the things that go into this. So there's a lot of very interesting things on that. Obviously, it was interesting to me, and I have to myself, because I've been programmed or I've been told so often that your writing and your ability to express yourself is tied to how intelligent you are. I've known better, and most people that suffer from dyslexia know better. They know they're not as stupid as they are getting credit or not getting credit for.
And that's I'm going to cut you for a second, because I know that because we've talked enough and we know each other well enough that I know you're a lot smarter than what your emails
might imply. Exactly.
Yeah, your implied email. Because it's just there's a thought pattern that when we talk to you as a person and you don't have to read and you're just thinking of the words and you're just kicking them out.
Yeah.
There's a complete difference. I mean, because there is an intelligence level that is definitely there. You're way smarter than what your emails dictate.
Absolutely. And that leads into one of the other things, and it's going to this will kind of bring us to our second topic. Right. One of the things is somebody that has dyslexia, it's not across the board. It's not for everybody, but the reason this is called the gift of dyslexia is because we find ways of working around problems. One of the only thing in school that I was ever proud of was I was in the top 1%. I mean, I scored off the charts in space relations and being able to see shapes and how things relate to each other. It sounds silly because what they gave me was a lot of flat cardboard boxes to look at and to visualize what shape they were going to be after they were folded.
Oh, when you fold, yeah.
And like that was for me, that was off the charts and stuff. There
you're
were
like, well,
things that
what's so hard about this? And I'm like,
it's like, yeah, I got this, like boom, 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 boom. Aptitude,
yeah.
perfect. Wound up in drafting and stuff. A lot of people that have dyslexia are architects and so on and so forth. And you can work past those things.
Hmm.
There's so much more to go on about. But here is the thing. Because those tasks come to me so easily, I assume everybody else can do it.
Yeah.
And I get mad and I get frustrated when it comes to something simple like writing a sentence correctly, understanding those things. And I think you could probably
Yeah, I can
segue.
relate to that anger problem. And that brings us. This is such a great segue because we're great at segues. Um, and I dare you to spell segue the proper way
Not a chance. Not a chance.
because well, and this is a video I saw recently. Segway, who was it? I think it might have been Cold Fusion, talked about, or anyway, the Segway scooter and how everybody thinks Segway is actually spelled SEGWA or WAY. No, it's SEGUE. Segway.
You.
That's how you spell it. So and I don't care, but it's funny that a product makes people spell things wrong. Anyway, so talking about our anger problems, I'm Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I've been told that in the past. So as a programmer, I get angry at my computer. Imagine that. But this was like 30 years ago. I was working for a company in northern Indiana that was an RV manufacturer. Imagine that, an RV manufacturer in northern Indiana. That will definitely not pin it down.
Anybody from the Midwest knows what that's about.
Exactly. There's way too many. So I was in charge of writing something for their security protocol or something, and I was like, making progress, and I was really happy. And then I would get cranky when it wasn't, and I had not realized how that emitted across the office because that's before remote work and that's before the internet was even that great. And someone had said I was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I had anger problems because I was, in my head, I was like, just F bombs left and right. But apparently that did emit out, but not the words, but the frustration shone through. And ever since then, I've been trying to rein it in, and I've been reining it in, but the frustration levels that programming gives you is, for me, just it's hard. I mean, I have gotten to the point, and I'll talk about this in a minute. I've gotten to the point where I can't see straight. I'm sure I don't know if other people have that problem. I'm sure, well, there's other people that do. I'm not the only one, but
Sure.
I don't know if it's a normal thing or if it's only people who have anger problems. I have no idea. But
I think anybody could be pushed to that. Most people don't get there, but I do think it has to
except for
do
when they get triggered on politics.
with with a competence level and a confidence level that you have in something. And if the disparity between those two, the further that is, the more rage you feel, and the further into the red you go.
Yeah, kind of like when you're reading. When if it's something, I'm sure some are more difficult to read than others. But yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, let's talk about the project I was working on that you saw both ends. You saw the euphoria.
Yes.
I gotten to a point where this product is great. I mean, it's just for me. I will maybe put it out eventually for other people, but right now it's just for me. And I'm building basically a ChatGPT thing for me that's built on a local LLM, which we're not going to go into details. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. I don't have to pay for tokens. I don't have to pay a subscription. I'm just doing everything all on my computer, and I can talk all day long, all night long, whatever. And then I went to go make some changes, a minor update. And I'm not joking. It was a minor update, and it broke the living crap out of that app.
Ouch.
I mean, it was okay. And it really, and what it was, I'm creating another YouTube channel. We're not gonna put it on here. We'll tell you later about it if it goes well. And it's all about tinkering with AI. So I'm like, okay, I want to make a video. I used it to create the idea of what the first video is, and then we went to it. I said, give me a prompt. It gave me a prompt. Now, keep in mind, this is the exact same AI that created this prompt. Every time I put the prompt into that same app, it wouldn't give me a response. It would just stop. But if I put it in like more a direct way, got a great response. Yeah, it you can tell it angers me. Just
I was going to say, I can still see your frustration in there.
It was, and it went from there, because I'm like, okay, because I'm also using Claude, because that's the one I do pay for, because it's actually very good at programming. And I'm like, okay, here's the details. So it's like, okay, it's fixed. No, it's not. Okay, it's fixed. No, it's not. Okay, and for 2-3 sessions, which it just kept going. It's fixed. No, it's not. Here's the problem, and it wasn't the exact same problem every time. We were making some progress, and then we would go backpedal a little bit, 1 step forward, 10 steps back.
Right.
And it was just, it broke me. I could not see straight. I was F-bombing Claude.
How do you deal with that, though? So, I mean, when you get to a situation like that, I'm going to say, what practical experience do you have, or is that just what you have to deal with?
If I follow my initial instinct, I would be broke, because I would have gone through many computers.
Just a hammer, just
smash everything. Knowing that I can't afford that, the first thing I do after I realize, it takes me a while to realize I'm in that, because it's a slow simmer. It's a slow simmer, and then it hits a boiling point. And if you watch a pot boil, see how long it takes.
Right.
When I finally realize, it's like, okay, my head is literally going to blow the roof off of here if I keep going, because I'm going to explode. Right at that point, I'm like, I have to walk away. The good thing is, what helps with that is the way Claude works. I'm cheap, number one. So I don't pay the $100-$200 a month for Claude. I pay $20.
Right.
So the way that works is that it has sessions, and you have so many tokens in a session, and you use them up, you get 5 hours total, but I can use them up in an hour.
Right.
Or 2. So it times you out. So it gives you
gave you a timeout, literally. So then the other question becomes, did you get a little exercise? Did you get up and walk around? Was there anything else?
Yeah, sometimes I'll sit and play a game. Sometimes I'll watch a YouTube, but I'll get up and go downstairs and walk around and just,
sometimes just some physical exercise is enough to break that cycle, maybe get the patterns of the brain to work a little bit differently, give yourself a different task.
And that's a known psychological thing. I mean, you can watch it on 1,000 different videos. They're all like, get up and take a walk. Now, in the next video, we'll talk about why just taking a walk isn't as easy for me.
Indeed.
But I can do it. It's not really an issue. It's just a very boring walk. But it does help. And that's exactly what I did. I got up and took a walk. But this is when I was messaging you. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just done with this app, and because I couldn't get to work. And it was only this one prompt that consistently failed, and it shouldn't have. Yeah. And it was driving me shit crazy. And then I saw that video I sent you a link to. Yeah. And we'll put that in the bottom too. Yeah. And it talked about, I don't know, did you watch it?
I did.
It might have gone over your head. Oh, you did? Okay, good.
I hung in there as long as I could. So.
It talked about the differences between, basically vibe coding and doing it for real, for a production system. Because vibe coding is cool. It's a great introduction, but do not put your vibe coded product into production.
No, don't make it an agent.
Unless it's a landing page to get, emails.
Right.
But even then, those emails are going to be vulnerable. They're going to get out.
Yeah.
So it talked about all of these things that you should do, and it listed 7 things, and I'm like, I'm good at 6 of those. Because of the experience, because it was talking about people who've had experience, building a system and all of that. I'm like, it's what I've been doing for 30 years. So it gave me the, I can do this.
Yes. Yeah. You probably, you needed that. And this is going to bring everything full circle from our very first video where, and we maybe zero video. We'll have to talk about that, and maybe we'll put that out at some point, or maybe
No.
we'll because I sprung it on you. But it was about small successes, and that's one of the things that we did talk about, was the fact that I felt like you, particular, you needed to concentrate on the small successes first to worry about everything else and stuff. And I was so happy because that seemed like that was a small success. That was something we were going to build and restructure on. And then it's like kaboom. And it's like, maybe this was a bad, but we got to come back around. So I appreciate
and that in line, there goes my anger management problem, or the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I can flip a switch, you know. That's what really this was about, is that it's about how easy I can go off.
What can you do to recognize those signs earlier? Or is there anything? Can you think about? I mean, can you work on that?
I've had therapy sessions about that.
Okay. And did you get any tools? Are there any tools? Are you looking for tools?
The tools they gave me are the normal tools. You know, just they're like, oh, here goes my nose again. They go, you just have to start to recognize the symptoms earlier. And I'm like, okay.
Well, let's not make that the stressor then. But,
see, now that helps, but I don't see it when as you know, when the road starts, you don't really see it. And you're like, well, how can you see that? It's like, well, there's no signal.
Yeah.
The signal is the 50th time you've tried something, the 50th time you've hit your head on the wall, and you're like, oh, that hurts.
Oh, wait. I got something
stop hitting your head on the wall. Cool.
Start
but
with
it takes 50 times. It's like, you know, and it's like, okay, well, how about you stop the first time you hit your head on the wall? It's like, well, because you didn't really hit your head on the wall. You just kind of got close.
You just bumped. You
brazed it, you know, and the brazing is so slight. It's one of those, it's kind of like the thing of the same idea of you don't see yourself age the way other people do. Like, you know, if I don't see you for 20 years, you're going to look old in 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to be still young in my eyes. So, you know, it's that same concept. Is like, it's such a gradual change into madness, you know, a descent into madness, that it's hard to find that point. I've gotten better to move the point before I literally throw something out the window. I used to throw, I can't tell you how many mice I broke.
Oh no.
I popped that one. I bought a mouse one time that was just, it was a cheap mouse, and it was online. I got it online, and I didn't realize how bad it was, and the mouse never worked.
Oh no.
I mean, I took it out and I plugged it in, and it was just, the insides were just all messed up. It got thrown hard. It would never work again. And I've gotten to the point to where I don't throw things anymore.
Okay.
And that actually has to do with my wife. We'll talk about her next video.
All right.
Because that goes into the next thing. But anyway, what I want to say is the solution to that error I was having, the problem with the code, I still don't know what it is. So I'm still not 100% convinced my code is fixed. However, it's been reliable. That one prompt has run multiple times without issue.
Okay.
And I don't know what it was.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating. But my question is,
and before somebody says, well, that's AI for you, it's like, no, I've actually done that before AI ever came out. I'm like, I don't know how I just fixed that, but it's fixed. Okay, cool. Next.
So that's a perfect example to tie it back around, because we're kind of getting to time of how I fix things with my dyslexia. Like, I can see the destination, but I can't tell you the steps that took me to get there. It's frustrating for anybody else that asks me to help them with a computer issue or something around here, because they're like, how did you do that? I don't know. I sat down and I did it. Like, I knew in my head, but the processes was happening so fast, or
I can't explain it to you.
I can't explain it to you. I skipped a stone across a lake and I made these connections and I got it to work for you. Just be happy and go with that.
It's not broken anymore, right? Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's not
Bye.
broken anymore. But it can be frustrating. And I'm hoping that if the issue comes up again, you won't be triggered by it. You'll be like, okay, I got this.
Oh, I'll get triggered.
Hopefully you can reel it in then. I guess that's what I'm going for.
That's really, that's the point. That's the goal, is to not explode.
Right. And I think that's for both of us with both of these issues. I think the best thing that we can do is work on it. There isn't going to be a solution. There isn't I want to say there isn't a problem to solve, but there's a problem to work on.
That, you know what, I think then you and I are coming to the same conclusion at the same point, because I was just thinking, it's like, I'll never not get angry about things like this.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's continue to neutralize it or continue to make it less intense, and that's really what it is. It's just making it less intense, because the it's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The anger and the frustration and all of that I feel, or that you feel, and it's not worth it. It is completely detrimental to the problem you're trying to solve.
Right. Right.
And to your health.
Yeah, for sure.
And I will continue to work on it. I will probably never be perfect, and neither will you.
Well, I don't know about that. That's saying quite a bit. Here's the
thing. My wife says I'm perfect for her, but that's beside the point.
I hear that too. We're lucky in that way. One other interesting thing we should stop, but the other thing that I worry about with the dyslexia too, and it's been pointed out to me in the videos that I watch and stuff, is by fixing my spelling errors and problems, I'm not going to lose anything else that I've already had, because I've built a lifetime of solving problems and finding workarounds and so on. And they even talk about this, like, you're not going to lose that ability if you train your brain to do that. So maybe I'm going to go ahead. I don't know. It's hard for me to say that I'm going to commit to this, but I may go back and just start at the basics and start with remedial English and just start again. And I know what the issue is now. I can look at it and maybe I can do different. We'll see.
Yeah. I can see that. Well, how can I fix my problem?
Like I said, you just need to move that needle back a little bit further to know when you're starting to go into the red. Just move it back a little bit further each time. And
so when I braise my head, just walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I'm supposed to. This means walk. Just remember, this means walk. If you ever find yourself like, I hit my head. This is walk time.
Walk time. Yeah. Sometimes I do. And then sometimes I'm like, just one more prompt. I'll just do this one more time.
I know that. I feel that too.
That right there should be the signal. Just one more.
You're right.
No, walk away. Yeah. That might be it.
And that works for me too.
We'll see if I can do that.
We'll try. In the meantime, thank you to anybody that stuck out for this whole thing. I don't know. I feel like you and I are making progress.
I think we are too, but I have a thing, because I know you're in and out. So I have a message for everybody who's out there watching, for all half of you. Today's my birthday. And if you want to give me a birthday present, don't do the normal stuff. The one thing I want you to do, share this video. That's the one thing that will get the most activity, is sharing this video, and share all of our other videos and tell everybody about us. All right?
Yeah.
You continue now.
That was it. That was going to be everything. I was going to say, there are no degrees. There are just decades between us. This has been Unprofessional Therapy. And I don't know. It feels like we accomplished something today. So thanks for
I feel good about this one.
Yeah, indeed.